This is Strictly Business, presented by the Greater Bakersfield Chamber of Commerce. Sponsored in part by the law offices of Young Wooldridge, San Joaquin Community Hospital.
And welcome back to Strictly Business. I'm Nathan Ollie, Manager of Government Affairs at the Greater Bakersfield Chamber of Commerce. And joining us now is Richard Abraham Rugnao. He's
Perfect.
Perfect. Nailed it.
That's right.
I wrote it down on the script. I want to make sure we got it right.
Even phonetically, right?
Yes. And he's with IdeaHive, which is an offspring of your company, RAR.
Yes.
And we're here today to discuss open workspace environment and some of the benefits it can have for your business. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
So talk a little bit about just the basics. What is an open workspace environment?
Well, it's a new trend.
Okay.
And I don't have the stats, so I'll have to come back and share. All right. But an open or the new open workspace is sort of like a new version of a library.
Okay.
Everyone works together. There are no books or a grouchy librarian, but it's a place.
You don't have to be quiet.
You don't actually.
Okay.
No, and we have DJs and sometimes we serve wine, so we're we're a little kooky. Yeah.
Okay.
But essentially, it's just a place where big thinkers who are aspiring entrepreneurs, nonprofits, those maybe run a nonprofit or those that are heavily involved in their group or their nonprofit can come and work in an open space. A lot of folks go to coffee shops, which we highly recommend. Mm-hmm. But this trend of mixed or shared workspace is now emerging, I think, in the Central Valley. There's a spot in Fresno, from what I hear. There's a group called, forgive me, I think it's called Mesh. Looking at digital startups and a place for big thinkers in that space to work together. So we encourage it because I think the more of this unconventional use of how we work, I think the stronger and better Kern County will be.
So far different from the
brick and mortar
cubicles and renting a conference room, that sort of thing.
We don't do cubes. Yeah, we don't do cubes. Okay. Yeah, you're really sitting side by side. So you have to get over that sort of conventional, traditional way of working.
Okay.
I have the big seat, though. I have the big desk.
Oh,
right.
You have a door?
I don't have a door.
Oh, wow.
I don't have a door.
So we talked a little bit about getting over, some of these changing work habits. How would you say the landscape of a work environment is changing, particularly for the younger generations, the millennials? They're looking at workspaces in a different way?
I think so. They want a place where they can be expressive. They want a place where they can lounge. They did not grow up in traditional workspace, let's say like me, someone who is in their mid-40s. Look surprised.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm never good at...
You're a little slow there.
You never want to guess those kind of things. It's a Monday morning.
A little slow.
Yeah, a little slow in the uptake on a Monday.
And so what they're looking for is, again, a place where they can be creative. If you look at Chevron, for example, I hear Chevron has a very creative, innovative space. If you look at my former employer, Yum Brands, and their corporate office at Taco Bell, it looks like a very sexy hotel.
Sort of like we hear with Google with the basketball courts and the foosball
ping pong table. Yeah, now that can be
right.
an extreme. I've heard of some shared workspaces. For example, in Phoenix, I have dodgeball.
Okay.
That's a little extreme.
Right.
However, what the sort of the end result is that it allows people to feel comfortable so that they can share creativity in a space that speaks to their lifestyle.
Okay. So that really you would think is the key to why those concepts work, is that ability to be collaborative.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But also, too, what is important is that the people that are in the space all come together with the same mindset. So you know this, working for the chamber. If people did not have the same focus of supporting business, right, the team itself wouldn't be successful.
That's right. You really got to be bought in, and that's why it's successful in those environments.
I'm proud that we're the first. I think we're the first to have this shared or type of shared workspace in Bakersfield.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So playing devil's advocate a little bit, I could see where someone would argue, well, how do you get any work done with all of that going on? So what are your thoughts on that?
They're probably not a fit for the IdeaHive.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, work gets done. Work gets done while you're driving. Hopefully while you're not driving, while someone's driving you.
Right. We just had a story about distracted driving. Yeah.
No. I meant while someone's driving you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah. How do people get work done at coffee shops? How do people get work done, sometimes at home?
Okay.
Actually, majority of people that come into the Idea Hive to work don't want to work at home because they're distracted because of television, family,
Sure.
what have you.
The things you got to get done in your regular
Yeah,
home
and
life.
Absolutely. I think people, listen, at the end of the day, how we work is very different than how we worked 5, 10 years ago.
Okay.
And a clear example of that is our mobile devices.
Okay.
You know, you don't need a traditional brick and mortar to go into the office anymore.
True.
Right? You can hold your office in your hand.
And sometimes we struggle with the battle of staying connected too much.
That's a different segment.
Right.
That's a different segment. Yeah. We're here to talk about idea and how people change how they work. I think especially for this town, you know, I'm renewed back to Bakersfield. I've been gone for about 20, 21 years.
Okay.
And having worked in large metropolitan cities, having worked in mid-sized towns like Bakersfield, I can tell you that this city is so ready, I hope, so ready for ideas to flourish. And we're beginning to see life downtown.
Right.
Downtown should be the hub of our existence in town, and we want to be part of that heartbeat.
Oh, that's great. So how can I determine, let's say I'm just starting out, I'm an entrepreneur, whatever. How can I determine if something like this is right for me? Or should I just go in the traditional route and find some lease space? And what were your thoughts on someone who's trying to decide if this is right for them?
Well, number one, it's budget.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you don't have a budget, then you probably shouldn't even be exploring where to have your office. Secondly, what's the vision of your company?
Okay.
Third, what do you need? Not only do we offer space, but for members, we also offer marketing and branding consultation with my company, RAR.
Okay.
So are you ready for that? You know, a lot of folks who are probably watching are small business owners. And I think what the Idea Hive allows you to do is to be part of a workspace without having to have the responsibilities of your own brick and mortar, of your own traditional space. It allows you to be with like-minded people. It allows you to network. If you're in a home office, I was in a home office. I drove myself crazy. I got tired of talking to myself.
Okay.
And I think what we encourage people to do is really go through the 3 W's: what, so what, and now what. Right? What do I want? Challenge the what you want, which is the so what, and then now what is the action. And we have a lot of those conversations in the Idea Hive.
Okay, so let's talk about the Hive specifically. What's there? High speed internet, utilities. What's included? What's there as part of the space?
Wine.
Okay.
Coffee. Of course, Wi-Fi is a given.
Can we do the show from there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Come on down. Let's do a live show.
Okay.
I'm serious. You heard it now. Live show. God, it's strictly business at the Idea Hive.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
And then how could someone get involved? Are there long-term contracts? It's just
there's a 6-month contract.
Okay.
Then we sort of, after 6 months, determine if it's a fit. But at the end of the day, we just want you to come and check us out. It feels different. It looks different. I overuse the word sexy. I think it's sexy.
Okay.
You know, it's a place where I call myself a born-again millennial. So it's a place for us Gen Xers and maybe older to challenge ourselves. There's a lot of young people in our space. And that's okay.
So paint us a picture. It looks different. Are there desks? Are we talking...
Absolutely. You can find,
so
let me say this. So those that are watching should go to Facebook if you're on Facebook.
Okay.
Check out the Idea Hive. There are amazing photos. In fact, we just hosted the Small Business Development, and forgive me, the SBDC.
Right, the Small Business Development Center.
Yeah, they had their planning meeting or one of their meetings last week.
Okay.
And, you know, it's an open space. So we have, I think, 4 or 5 tables. We've got a bar that people could also use or stand. We're going to bring in bean bags if you want to use a bean bag. We might even have nap time. I don't know.
Okay.
But no dodgeball.
No dodgeball.
No dodgeball.
Yeah.
No dodgeball.
So any organizations or companies that our viewers might know that take advantage of this space? I mean, you may not want to reveal your clients personally, but anybody that maybe community organizations or something that has their space there?
Again, I mentioned the SBDC.
Right.
We have the Latina Leaders Organization that's interested in coming in. We have Current Citizens. She's
for sustainable government.
Thank you,
right.
Curtis, for sustainable. Sorry,
Lauren Smoot, friend of the program.
Oh, sorry, Lauren. So they're a founding member.
Okay,
and their 3 co-founders have been really, really supportive of the Idea Hive. In fact, challenged themselves to think outside the box because it's a non-traditional, or unconventional workspace. And they've hosted several meetings in the Idea Hive. Actually, your YP group, the Bakersfield Young Professionals, they've hosted a couple of meetings in the Hive.
Okay.
So we're growing. We're only 2 months old.
And how big is the space? How many people could we accommodate at an Idea Hive?
I mean, it's a revolving door. So for an event, we can host about 70 or so sit down.
Oh, okay.
In terms of a workspace, probably 20 at a time.
Wow, good size space. And where is this down? It's downtown, but where specifically?
Yeah, 1910 19th Street.
Oh, okay, great. So, anything else that that we need to know about open workspaces, and maybe why you think that this is the wave of the future?
I say if you want to change your business, then change how you work.
Okay.
And if that's a shared workspace, great. If that's making it a subtle change in how your team operates and functions, then I'd say do that too. Selfishly, we say come to the Idea Hive.
But not. I'm just sitting here thinking about this. What if I have sensitive information or proprietary knowledge or trade secrets or something, if you will? Is there a place where there is a certain amount of privacy? Like,
I'd say leave those trade secrets at home.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very simple.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't get in a conversation with a client with you sitting right next to me.
Okay.
I'd step outside.
Okay, so not the kind of place to maybe take meetings if it's.
You can take a meeting
if it's something that needs to be on a.
I wouldn't
more
share
confidential
I would
level.
not share the Colonel's secret recipe. No.
No. Okay.
No, but I think that's how people should operate in general.
Sure.
That to me, that's a standard business practice. If that's not how one operates, then one needs to rethink how they're structured.
Okay, so really just make sure this is right for you, but it does sound like a really interesting way for
I think so.
For some millennials and some entrepreneurial startups to get going.
Not just millennials, even though
not just born again millennials.
Born
too,
again,
right?
born again, yeah.
So I'm not a millennial. Well, actually, depending on who
you could be born again.
Depending on who you ask, because 1980, that's
you're a millennial.
See, some people say 82. I don't want to be a millennial. Some people say 82.
But I don't think you behave like a millennial. I think you think like a Gen Xer.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I
think you need some. You need some consultation in the Hive. We need to have a conversation.
All right, let's do it. Richard Abraham, Rugnao, with RAR and the Idea Hive. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this with more Strictly Business. Stay tuned.